About on your point about point solutions, I do think that there's still obviously a place for point solutions, but I think that in the data space, this is a natural evolution, what we're seeing right now, where people started with point solutions where there was a specific application working against a specific data source or data type. And at that point, it made sense because some of these data sources and data types were new, and it was sufficient to just have a point solution to be able to look at something very specific and a very specific metric. Now, since data has evolved so dramatically, both in terms of the volumes people are storing in the corporate platforms and the rate at which data is evolving and changing from the external sources, there's a natural need for more flexibility in systems so that you as a user and an organization can determine what it is that you need to bring together from where and how you want to look at it, right? There's only so much that I think a vendor can do in terms of saying, this is how you need to look at your data, right? You all in your organizations are domain experts in your business. You know what you want to look at. You know the sources that are of value to you, whether they be internal sources or external sources. And in order to drive to the interesting insights, it requires a solution or new solutions that give you flexibility in terms of how you can actually get to it, what you can pull together, how you slice and dice it, how you interact with it. So I don't think it's necessarily a case where a platform is going to do absolutely everything you want it to do with respect to every source and every type of analysis. That's impossible. But what one can do is give you a platform that's far more flexible than what the original generation of point solutions were all about. I think what Adapt is trying to do is very interesting because they recognize that bringing structured and unstructured data together is absolutely necessary, and it needs to be brought together in a single platform to avoid all the data movement between Hadoop and structured sources. But whether you're pulling data out of a platform like Hadoop or other sources, the users need more flexibility in terms of how they bring it together and drive to the insights that they know they need for their business. So we're basically riding a situation right now between platforms that need to house many different data types, which is what Adapt does, and solutions on the front end that need to offer flexibility to then consume all that data in the way users want to be able to do.
So, on a little bit more technical level, I think, just to be clear, I actually agree with everything she says, but on a little bit more technical level, one of the problems that we had to solve was that we found that our users were very particular about knowing what they wanted, and they already knew in advance what they wanted. But the problem was that there was no particular system, one particular system that fits everything. So, in other words, there's no one size fits all. And not wanting to steal your thunder or not knowing much about exactly what you do or how you do it, the thesis is that because there is no one size fits all, sometimes you have to cobble together various technologies. And what we did for us is, at Simple Reach, we have like 4 or 5 different data storage technologies that we cobbled together in order to provide both the visual real-time experience, the historical and analytical experience, and also the algorithmic insight that is interesting, that's basically providing the feedback that one would expect to intuitively know in a presentation format. So, in other words, using the tools that are out there and available to bring together all the different disparate data sources and data types into one umbrella, because the users, what we found is users don't actually care how you get to the data as long as it's really easy for them. If it's not easy for them, then they're going to just go somewhere else where it is.